And then there were two. National championship tonight, Houston versus Florida. Who's going to get it done? How are we going to get paid? We're going to break it all down today on the Free 3. I'm so excited for this national championship. Hopefully it's been a great college basketball season for you like it has been for us. We're going to get into all the action today and my national championship prediction. I've got Florida on, so let's find out. Let's get into it, guys. This is the Free 3.
I love it, Noble. Noble, I also love your YouTube videos. I watched them while I was gone. That was fire.
About getting paid because yesterday we had a full sweep. Mike going under, that was just icing on the cake. Why are we going to go in such a weak AFC South? Unless we have the NBA Blowout Association today.
Knicks take a 1-point lead with 13.
When you hear the sirens, you know what that means.
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me. Hurt my feelings.
What is up, my friends, and happy National Championship Day. It is your boy Noble Living back with another DYF Bets video where I'm breaking down my favorite picks and plays of the day as we just try to get to the bag together and make some money. Appreciate you guys for tapping in this morning. How has the college basketball season been for you guys? We had a great Final Four on Saturday between Duke and Houston. We saw Florida, Auburn. We had some excellent games. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying it. I think this year it's like, even though it's been chalky in this terms of like a lot of favorites, I think what's made this year kind of fun is not only have we had good basketball games, but I think like a lot of people's brackets are still alive because I feel like most people who don't even like follow college basketball were picking 1 seeds and stuff like that. So it's like I think a lot more interest later on in the tournament was there that I feel like that personally than just like the people who like me and you who are bettors or who are fans. I feel like for the casual viewer, I feel like they've been tapped in a little bit longer because like their bracket had like a little bit more of surviving chance, I guess. But now we've come down to it. Florida and Houston, 2 teams with everything on the line, guys. And I'm going to break down my champion in today's video, who I'm going to have. And if you tapped into my Twitter over the weekend, then you guys know that I'm really indifferent on who's going to win this game because I'm going to win regardless. I took futures before the tournament started, or I took an exact future, and I'll pull it up here on the screen real quick. Let's see here. Scroll through my Twitter here. I took an exact future. You can see the day here on March. So I think this was like right after the first round. We took Florida to win it all. We took Houston to win it all, and then the exact matchup at plus 1100. So this one got paid out. I did a little sprinkle on these as well. So Houston and Florida, both of them to win, guys. We already have futures, and we locked in those on action as well. And this weekend, it wasn't the worst weekend for us on action. We'll break down kind of how we did here. We're still up, which was good. Yesterday, you could see we went 1, 2, and 1. We pushed on one play because Danny Avia did not play. But if we do a full recap on the weekend here, on Friday, we did lose our 6-point teaser. That was annoying because Texas should have played South Carolina harder. And the way that South Carolina looked yesterday was how I expected them to look against Texas. So I thought we were going to go with the 12 points, but that was disappointing. So UConn was dominant. The Clippers were dominant. We got that done. Kyle Filipowski, don't even know what sparked me to take that. I think I wanted just an extra play after I realized the teaser was going to lose. That missed. Demi Avia, we were able to ladder him up. I think he finished with 11, so hopefully you guys were able to hit on that. This under missed as well. So Friday wasn't our best day at all. And then Saturday, we were able to bounce back a little bit. We lost our first 2 plays of the day, but then we were able to get Florida and then Torres Finney inside the UFC there. And then also we were able to get Duke and Clippers on the money line here. Then Seattle on the first 5 money line there. So that wasn't too bad. And then yesterday we went 1, 2, and 1. So not too bad for us over the weekend. And you guys can see over the last 30 days, still up $1,200. Last week, up over $600. And these are just 1 unit, $100 bets. So hopefully you guys have been making money with us. And I appreciate you guys for tapping in. So let's talk about the college game tonight, Florida versus Houston. And I think the best way to actually introduce this, right? I wanted to show this video real quickly. I saw on Twitter real quickly this morning. I want to like pull this up real quick. All right, we don't gotta watch the full video. You guys watch that, but it was fire little video edit. Walter Clayton Jr. has been absolutely amazing and stellar thus far in this tournament, guys. I mean, you guys have been watching him like I've been watching him. You've been seeing what he's been able to do, and the reason why I wanted to show that video, because like Banana said, Walter Clayton is him. Like, the dude's a bucket. He's been amazing, and Florida's run thus far to the tournament. Let's go to KenPom. You could see here top 3 teams in the country, or 2 of the top 3 teams I should say, and Florida's run here has been great. They've been an excellent offense. They've been great on the defensive side, 5th in offensive rebounding. They don't turn over the ball a lot, and Walter Clayton has a lot to do with that. So it's great to see both of these programs make it here, and then their run to the championship has been Norfolk State, UConn, Maryland, Texas Tech, Auburn, and then now we've got against Houston. You can see KenPom has this as a 1-point win for Houston in this matchup. And for me, guys, the first bet that I'm going to lock in this game is just going to be a first half play. And Houston has really been coming out a little bit slow in these games. So we're going to go Florida on the first half money line here. And I want to pull up something on ESPN super quickly, because I just want to show you guys kind of like what Florida has been doing in the first half. KenPom does it by quarters. That's why I don't want to pull it up on KenPom. It looks like a little bit weird. But let's look on this, right? Against Auburn, they were trailing in the first half by about 8 points. And then obviously Walter Clayton became him, went crazy. Second half, Florida sped up the pace, and that's how they were able to win the game against Auburn. Auburn made the game mucky in the first half. They were able to get a lot of contact, draw a lot of fouls. But then Florida started speeding up the tempo and the pace. Auburn fell into the trap. Florida gets the win. Florida hit some big-time shots. But let's look here against Texas Tech. Florida got off to a quick lead, 40-37. This one came down to a close game at the end as well. Florida was trailing in the second half. Texas Tech, again, blew this lead. Walter Clayton hit some tough shots. Florida gets the win. Let's go back a little bit to the previous round against Maryland. Against Maryland, Florida wins the first half, and then they were able to pull away again in the second half. But again, this game was a little bit closer in the second half at the beginning of it, and then Florida pulled away late. So you can kind of see the trend here that I'm kind of showing, which is Florida's getting out to typically faster starts inside the tournament. They had a tough game against UConn. This one came down to the wire as well, defending 2-time national champion, but again, competitive in the first half. Now, if we go look at Houston real quickly and look at them in the first half for an example, we saw against Duke that they were trailing in the first half by 6 points. I took Duke in the first half there for this exact reason. Sometimes the offense takes a little bit of a second to get going. Against Tennessee looked like a JV outmatched team, so they got out to a quick lead there. But against Purdue, you could see Purdue was winning in the first half 31-29, and I had Purdue in the actually had Houston in the first half in this matchup, so I remember losing this bet, and it's actually because Braden Smith got fouled with 0.3 seconds left on the shot clock, or on the game clock, and then they got the 2 free throws. But either way, it would have been tied. And then against Gonzaga here, you can see Gonzaga was down about 8 in the first half. Houston got out to a quick lead. But Florida's offense is good enough to win this game. You see the Florida shirt. It's good enough for them to get out a quick lead. And that's the first bet I want to take, because I want to take a few different angles in this game. And the first one's just going to be Florida on the first half money line, because I think they're going to be able to get out to a quick start. Houston's defense is going to do what Houston's defense does. But we saw Houston's defense wear out Duke, and that came in latter in the second half. And that is what is going to be my secondary bet here. So my first bet, in the way that, I mean, you guys, if you have the futures, that's great. But if not, then this is what I would do. You play Florida first half. You get that. And the reason why I showed those videos, the video of Walter Clayton, is not to just show you the hype, but also I want you to see something here. If we go in slow motion, that's a great individual shot. But the way that this screen is, he's coming off this screen right here. That's what Florida likes to do. They like to run this high set action where they throw it to their big men right here at the top of the key. The big man then either does a dribble handoff to the guard, or the guard does a full front cut. They don't get it. Then it sets up the dribble handoff action here to get this guard going downhill. Walter Clayton was able to get downhill against Auburn because Auburn plays a drop defense, a.k.a. Jermaine Broome. Do you see where he is on this screen here? Do you see where the guard is? The guard is trailing here because they want to take off the three-point line. Nothing wrong with that. But this defender is dropping, which is a drop defense. That is how Auburn plays defense. And that is what set up Walter Clayton 1 getting the shot. Late closeout by Broome. Let's move on. Next play, Broome rotating back to his man. Houston doesn't have to do that. They're willing to put their big men isolated on guards at certain times when it makes sense. They don't always want to do it. Typically, this guy is going to be active enough to fight over this screen enough and then give his big man enough time, but the rotation's going to be here. You don't see how this guy, he's more of attached, and I believe that this is Menuzil, whatever his name is, number 10 for Auburn, he's going to just jump up right here. Houston, the way they play this defense, they can switch this straight up, which is going to change that again for Walter Clayton, which is going to use more time on offense. Houston plays in the Big 12, right? They play in the Big 12. Everybody's been talking about the SEC all year, which is great because the SEC has prolific offenses to go with prolific defenses. But it depends on what team you're playing. Florida is here because of their offense more than they're here because of their defense. They won on Saturday because of their offense more than they did because of their defense. And I'm not discrediting their defense. We see the numbers here on KenPom. But the difference is that when they speed up the game, when they try to play offensively, that works for what Houston sees in Big 12 basketball, not just historically, but even this past season. You have teams like Baylor who like to play faster pace, BYU that like to play faster pace. And guess what? Houston does not fall into their trap. They play their style of basketball. They play their brand of basketball. And I believe that's going to be the differentiator here in the long run. And that is why I'm going to take Houston to win the national championship live. If you tapped into my video of me breaking down my bracket, I'm not going to pull it up, but I have this exact match of Florida versus Houston, and I have Houston winning the game. And I still do believe that because of Houston's defense is good enough and the difference in the defensive schemes. And if you keep looking at the highlight video here, they're going to start showing Walter Clayton doing what? Slashing, getting to the rim. When have you seen Houston play somebody where a guard is going from here and going all the way to the rim like this in the second half? It doesn't happen. Same thing. Step into your shot, maybe a little slow, not even a shot fake. Dribble downhill, splits the defender, tough shot, great finish, and one, gets to the rim. Right? Same thing. Splits the defender here, drop defense, and then guess what? Gets to the rim, tough finish. It all looks good, but it's all set up because of how the defensive scheme. Houston blitzes screens. That's what they do defensively. That's their scheme. So they're going to jump the screens, and now I'm getting into a lot of basketball terminology. I'm a little bit of a nerd like that. But this is getting into a little bit, but they're not only gonna hard hedge, but they're gonna blitz it, which is gonna force a pickup by Walter Clayton, which would now cause the backside rotation. I'm not saying Walter Clayton's not gonna get buckets. I'm not saying he's gonna get points, but what I do believe is gonna happen is the role players for Houston, for Florida. If Florida's I don't want to say, I'm going to go to the roster so I don't mispronounce his name real quick, but you guys know exactly who I'm going to talk about right here. They're going to need a big game from Will Richard, and they're going to need a big game from Thomas Howe. They're going to leave him open. Number 10, they're going to leave him open at the top of the key. And they're not going to leave him open relative to Houston defense. But they're going to force him to get the shots. But the Walter Clayton getting the ball downhill, being able to split the screens, go up with the jelly, that ain't happening. Duke scored 9 points in the last 9 minutes of that game, or last 6 minutes of that game, something like that. Crazy stat. And it's because of that wear and tear. It's that fatigue. This is the year that Kelvin Sampson teams gets it done. And the reason why they get it done is because this is the season that they've had offensive scoring unlike ever before. And that is why I love this Houston team. That's why I predicted for them to win the national championship before the tournament started. So we're going to go Florida on the first half money line. Then we're going to go Houston live because the minus 105, we don't need that. We can get this at plus 125. We can get this at plus 150. We'll probably maybe get it at plus 200. And you're probably going to be watching the game anyway, so just be able to lock it in live. So take that live. But for the sake of the show, I'm going to get Florida first half money line, and then we're going to go Houston live. I do think Florida's first half, they can score points, and they're going to come out and they're going to do what they do. Houston's like a slow engine, and that's what Calvin Sampson was telling those boys in that huddle. Just play our game, guys. Just stay consistent. Just keep doing our thing. And obviously, they had an improbable comeback against Duke, but that's because they trust their process. They trust their system, and they're going to get there eventually. And I think that's what's just going to happen inside of this game. And Florida, but they're going to get out to a quick start. And look at also the in-game adjustments that Calvin Sampson's done this tournament, better than any coach so far in the tournament. And I think the experience here over a young Todd Golden. Golden's going to be back. Florida's going to have their chances for sure. But I think this is Calvin Sampson's year. He's turning 70 this season. He's been in the game a long time. And I think this is the year that they finally get over the hump. And it's Florida's time. And because I think that we're going to get some offense in this game, I'm going to go with a little player prop parlay for you guys. We've been building these out. These have been good for us. And we're going to go LJ Cryer for 15 plus points, and then we're going to go DeMar 20 plus. I'm not really touching NBA today, only 2 games, second out of the back-to-back for the Kings, but DeMar's DeMar. We're going to talk about him in a second. But if you think Florida's going to win this game, if you think Florida's going to keep the game close, that means you must believe in the offense. And if you believe in the offense, that means that Houston's going to have to keep up because we've got a tight spread. I don't think this is going to be a dog walk either way. Do I think late that we can get a 6 or 8 point victory for either team? Yes, but it's going to be a closer game than the score indicates. That's what I think. It's going to be that type of game. But LJ Cryer thus far in the tournament's been great. 26 points, 17 points. He had only 5 against Purdue, but the volume was there. 2 of 13 shooting, so it just was a bad game. And then 30 points against Gonzaga, 15 against SIUE. So he's gotten 15 every game in the tournament except for one, where he still had the volume there. This is what they brought him here to do. He was an in-conference transfer. He started off his career at Baylor, and then he transferred here to Houston. Why? Because they needed his scoring. They needed his playmaking and his ability not only to shoot the 3 ball effectively at a high rate, 9 attempts, 8 attempts, 5 attempts, 11 attempts, but also for him, his ability to get the ball off the dribble. That's the difference between Houston this season and Jamal Shed last year. Right? LJ Cryer is that difference. Yes, you can get a good game from Uzon. Yes, you've got guys like Jawan Roberts and then Elijah who can hit the 3-pointers as well. But LJ Cryer, he's their guy that is like, hey, we're going to get into we need a bucket, we can get a bucket. But I also like him too over the other guys in terms of the points for the parlay, because when you think about it, if Florida's going to try to speed up the tempo and Houston, for whatever reason, speeds it up with them, LJ is going to be the guy who's probably going to benefit from scramble plays, kickouts on offensive rebounds, 3-pointers in transitions. He's probably going to be the guy who's going to benefit from that. So for me, I like that 15 points. Now, DeMar for 20 plus points. Let's go over here to Doink Sports. You guys know Doink Sports has been cooking us up winners. And DeMar's line today is at 22.5. But one of the reasons why I like doing sports is because you have the ability to adjust the alt line here. So let's go to down to 19.5. So because we just need 20 points. And you can see DeMar has gotten on over this total in 9 of the last 10 games. The only time he didn't get it was against OKC, and that's understandable because OKC has one of the best defenses in terms of guards and forwards in the league. And then besides that, he's been able to go over this. But let's go to a little bit further out of the sample size. Last 15 games, he's gone over 13 of the last 15. Still averaging 22 points. Let's go to the last 30 games. 24 of the last 30, he's been able to get at least 20 points. So he's been able to do it pretty consistently. Against Detroit this season, back in December, he only had 19. But before that, 39 last season, 25, 29, 20. So yes, it's not the same Detroit team as we've seen in years prior. I know Detroit defensively is pretty good. You could see here, and then if we go to similar players as DeMar, the numbers increase just a little bit to 4 of the last 10 guys have been able to get 20 plus points against the Pistons. And then I know Cade is back as well. So if you don't want to take this and you want to just take something in a national championship, be my guess. I just don't know if Walter Clayton gets 20. He might get 20, but I think Houston is going to do everything to get him out of the game plan. And Houston has the defense and the players to do it in the length. So do with that as you will. I like DeMar to get 20. He's getting 20 every game. And I think the Kings right now, they won last night, so it is the second of a back-to-back for them. But the thing is, they're still in a very competitive kind of conference, battle. And, after last night's win against the Hornets, and then that wasn't even last night's win. Last night's win was against, who did they play last night? It wasn't the Hornets. It was the Cavaliers. Yeah, the Cavaliers. They played the Cavaliers. I think that win is a statement win. It's a statement win. So now you win like this, and then you win against another top dog in the Eastern Conference. Not only does that help your record and games matter, but I also think that this is the type of game that like DeMar gets up for, and you know the superstars want to kind of like, this is a game that you would want to get up for. You know, it's like against another top team. So I like that kind of like a little points parlay. So if we go here to doink, I mean this is action real quickly. Let's plug this in. We'll just go to the all points line here. DeMar for 20 has just been like, it's just every game. It's just been consistent. So even if it does miss, it's something that I'm just going to keep running back to. Sometimes I don't give that out every day just for the sake of like kind of giving you guys fresh content. But just know, like if you see DeMar for 20 at like minus 200, that's like going in a lay for sure for me. And you can see here we're getting at plus 100. It's like Denny Avdia for like 8 rebounds right now. It's just like, it's just been hitting so consistently. Why not? So those are going to be our 2 bets. And then again, we got Houston on the money line live. All right, guys, for our third and final pay of the day, we're going to go to the MLB card real quick. We do have a full slate of games on. I am going to have a Nobu Nerfy for you guys on TikTok. So make sure you guys tap into the TikTok to grab the Nobu Nerfy. A few games that I do like on the board today. But I'm going to take a look at this Rangers and Cubs game. And this line just doesn't really make sense for me. Rangers are 8-2 to start the year. Remember that future we took on the Rangers to start the year. And then we also got the Cubs at 7-5. And Justin Steele versus Nathan Eovaldi. And we're getting the Rangers here at plus value, and we're getting just good value. So why don't we just go Rangers first 5 money line, and why don't we go Justin Steele over earned runs? So we're going to lock this both in for 1 unit each. So this is really 4 plays for you guys, and plus 105. Justin Steele thus far in the year, 3 starts, 4 innings against the Dodgers, 5 hits, 5 earned runs in Tokyo to go with 2 home runs. I get it, you're in Tokyo, it's the Dodgers. But next start against the D-backs, 6 hits, 5 innings, 3 earned runs, 1 home run. Then the next start against the Athletics, 6 2/3, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 home runs. That does not give me any type of confidence that he has any command. And when you are a fly ball pitcher and you are giving up home runs and you're giving up hits in contact, you're not getting the job done. 6 strikeouts is good, but not when you're giving up 4 earned runs and 2 home runs. So there's been nothing here to show me that Justin Steele has a command over his pitches enough to go against Nathan Eovaldi, who is coming off of a complete game shutout, which you barely see in the big leagues anymore. 9 innings of 4 hit, no earned run baseball, no walks, and 8 strikeouts. To go with 9 strikeouts in his first start in 6 innings against the Red Sox. So for me, it's just like the better pitcher. You're giving me plus money on the first 5. What am I missing? The Cubs are at home. The game's at Wrigley. The Rangers are 8-2. They don't only have power guys. I mean, yeah, you got... But, like, Simeon started off the game with a home run yesterday. I'm pretty sure I took the Nerfy in the Rangers game. So you have just, like, a bunch of different weapons. You know, Garcia is back hitting the ball well. So it's just one of those things where I'm just not really understanding the line here. And I just think the value is on the Rangers. And they've been great all season. And Justin Steele has to show me something. Now, until you get your command, I'm fading you, bro. So that is what we're doing here. So let's go here to action. And nope, that's not action. All right, here we go. And let's go to Justin Steele real quick. And let's go to pitching. And let us go to earned runs over 1.5. And the beautiful part about this is if for whatever reason the Rangers lose the first 5 and Steele is in the game, he's in the 6th inning, cool. We can still get this one to cash for us. So that's kind of like my way of playing this one here. All right, guys. So here we go for our 3 best bets today, guys, on the free 3. We've got national championship vibes. We've got Florida on the first half on the money line. Then we've got LJ Cry for 15 points and 20 points and for DeMar. And then we've got Rangers first 5 money line and then Justin Steele for over 1.5 earned runs. We are going to lock in Houston on the money line live as well. Okay, guys? We're going to lock in Houston on the money line live as well. That is what we're going with today. Best of luck out there. Hope it's a great national championship. If you want to be somebody who hedges on both sides, takes plus 100 here, plus 100 there, I think you will be able to get Florida or Houston either way at plus 125, plus 150. So there's no need to, lay it right now. I mean, unless you just want to. But I think, you can get whoever you want at plus value. I think we're going to get a good game between offense and defense, and I think defense finally is going to prevail in this one, and it's Calvin Sampson's year. So that's my prediction, guys. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Best of luck. Hopefully your brackets are still alive, and let's make some money tonight, guys. And then if you need anything, let me know. Subscribe to the channel, and I've got you guys on the Noble Nerfy on TikTok as well at Noble Living. Appreciate y'all. Let's have a day. See y'all in tomorrow's video. Later, gang.